I'm Stacy Jacobi and I love to flip houses. I'm a designer, I'm a realtor, I'm a pseudo contractor because I love to tear down walls and I love to flip homes. I love ugly houses. I'm totally fascinated by a house that no one wants and that no one can see the potential in it. And time again, I've gotten someone to either buy a house or I've bought the house, or I'm always looking at properties. Just like yesterday, I saw a house that is a foreclosed house and it truly is hideous. But at the end of the day, in my mind, I can see it's got this cool little glass side porch. It's a 1950s rancher. I can just see how it will be at the end of the day. It would be a painted brick, has a little, you could add a little porch to it. The little side porch could become this really interesting spot. Over and over again, I've gotten people to finally see my vision and say, let's buy this house. And then when we're done, it's amazing. And I mean, I've never had anyone be disappointed in the fact that they bought some ugly house and they're building equity for themselves. So I would say that I like to take the unsellable house and then just take it and tweak it, whether it's just with basic things like paint, lighting, cabinetry, and then put it back on the market in a different way and put it in a different light that someone didn't think of, and being able to sell it and turn a profit and sell it really quickly. One client wasn't my buyer. I had a house that I wanted to sell and he had a home in another neighborhood, and so the agent said, would you mind coming to look at this house and tell us why it won't sell? And so I get that sometimes where other agents from other companies will say, come tell us what you think. Well, when I walked into his house, I said, doesn't he want to live in my neighborhood? And she's like, well, yeah, he does. I said, I'll take his house, I'll flip it. I said, you have him buy my home, I'll buy his. So then I proceeded to redo his home. And once I redid it, he was disappointed because he bought at a higher bracket, and I was able to do things to this house that he probably, if he would have stayed in it, he would have loved it, stayed in it, and lived in it instead of buying another house. And so I was able to sell his house as soon as I finished the renovation on that. And so sometimes I'll look at a house and it might just have a plain flat front. We call them here in Knoxville Knox boxes. And so to take that Knox box and just add a little porch on one property and just big cedar columns, the expense was not huge, but it made a huge difference on the house. So it brought another elevation to the front of the house to make it just more interesting. And so when you see things that are more interesting, you know, you want to go in them, you want to see them, you want to enjoy them. And so just popping that little porch on there made a huge difference on that house. I have done everything. I've done plumbing, I've done electrical, I've done lighting, I've done rewiring, I've done tiling, and I've done everything besides sit for my general contractor's license. I've gone to the class, I've taken drafting classes, drawing classes. I've had 12 houses in 12 years. And so I tell people everything in my house is for sale, except for my husband and my children. But anything is always for sale. So when I've sold my home, some people say, can I buy all the furniture in them? And so literally at some point in time, one of my 12 flips, I have sold all the furniture in one of my houses and walked out with like just, you know, our toothbrushes and our clothing, and everybody bought everything. And I went down to the nearest furniture store and had to buy all new furniture. Most realtors in this town know, if you ask them and said my name, they know I'm crazy and that I will sell my house. So without even putting my homes on the market, a realtor would call and say, can I show your house today? And of course I'd be like telling my husband, let's just let them look at it. I don't know if they're gonna buy it, but let's just let them look. If you have a house that you can't sell, if you give me between $15,000 and $20,000, I can take that house, I can turn it for you, I can actually make it more marketable, and you will end up making more money than what you started out with.